I was told that this was the healthiest diet on earth, but after years of being vegan, my energy, skin quality, and overall health just kept getting worse. Here is what actually changed when I switched from vegan to an animal based diet. So, the reason I actually went vegan when I was 12 years old, and the reason why is because my whole family switched to a vegan diet after we saw the film Game Changers. Maybe some of you guys have seen it, you'll have to let me know. But it is a vegan documentary, and it's about these athletes that are vegan and how they're performing better than athletes who eat meat, and why everybody should switch to a vegan diet. And they basically just made the argument that it's better for athletics. I played soccer, my family was pretty active, and so we all switched over to the vegan diet, because we thought that it would help us be more athletic and more healthy and live longer as well. I didn't have any health issues before this, just switched to the vegan diet because of optimal health and athletics. And so here are some pictures of me when I first went on the vegan diet earlier in. I was super skinny, and I was pretty lean though. I played soccer a lot, ran around a lot, and rode my bike as well. So I did get pretty lean. So now some of the doubts that I had, I started to have doubts when I turned 18. So like 6 years later, after being vegan for 6 years, I was like, how can I be following this perfect diet and yet not feel perfect and not look perfect too, and not look my best? And I felt like something was just holding me back, and I decided maybe to experiment with diet. And I had a bad nutrient deficiency of iron that I got after training on the bike for a long time and a lot of training. And I had really poor skin health. I had just poor recovery, and I was going to the gym and I just wasn't building any muscle. And I tried to get my parents to kind of like hear me out, switch over, but they wouldn't listen. And so eventually I had enough money to buy my own food. And at that point it was about May last year, so May of 2025 is when I started to have my own, enough money to buy my own food. Then I started to switch over to animal based, and I would basically just eat meat, a lot of ground beef, organic, grass fed, then raw milk, honey, maple syrup, carrots, onions, cilantro, sourdough bread, eggs. That was basically it. So cutting out, I before that I was eating oatmeal every morning, bunch of nuts, seeds, and peanut butter and stuff in it, berries as well. And then I'd eat like a peanut butter and honey sandwich for lunch, and then some like rice, vegetables for dinner, whatever my parents made. And very quickly after doing this, I started to see some very substantial benefits, including, and this is kind of like the timeline for each of the benefits. So the first benefit that I started to see was more strength in the gym and being able to recover better. My muscles were always sore when I was vegan, and after I went and started eating more animal protein, my muscles would get a lot less sore. And so I was also immediately was able to lift more weight when I had been stagnant for a really long time. And months 1 to 3, my skin went through a bit of a purge. It definitely looked worse in the beginning, and it didn't really get better immediately. And my appetite was kind of gone when I was on a vegan diet. Like I had to force myself to just eat like 2,000 calories a day. Just did not have any appetite. So my appetite did go up, and so I was able to eat more food when I was burning probably closer to 3,000 calories a day. I was able to eat closer to that a lot easier. Then in months 3 to 6, my skin cleared up a ton. And I did also do some other things to make it clear up, so I will post a video on that. my facial bloating went down a decent amount as well. And this was something that I always kind of wondered, because I'm like, I look pretty lean and yet I still have like a decent amount of facial bloating. And so I was pretty confused by this. And, it was probably some of the grains and stuff that my body just didn't react super well with. And I also had a lot of stomach bloating before and discomfort and stuff as well. And that was eliminated to months 3 to 6. Month 6 to 9, my confidence went up a ton, and my energy and my drive just kept getting better and better. And before I had all these things that I wanted to do, and, I just could not get myself to do it. I didn't have the energy and I didn't have the drive. And month 6 to 9, that just kept getting better. And, my skin quality just kept getting better. And yeah, it was great. And so there might be some trade-offs with this diet. I'm just telling you what kind of worked for me, and you guys can go try it out, just experiment. One possible trade-off, I don't think this is really true, but a lot of people think that eating higher cholesterol and saturated fat increases your chances of a heart attack. Now, I went in and got my blood work done right when I started, or before I started being animal-based, and then I did do it just recently, a couple months ago, and my blood pressure went down. It actually improved, and my cholesterol markers, nothing was off or anything. And my testosterone, I didn't get it checked before, but it was around 812 this last time, so pretty good. But I'm gonna go get it tested here in the next 2 months or so, and kind of see where that's at now. And I think we just gotta get more research out. Maybe it's hard because there's research kind of supporting plant-based, and there's research supporting eating animal proteins as well. So that's something that's hard. And I kind of just look at it as like, I feel like there's a pretty obvious decline in human health recently. And, maybe our health would be reclaimed if we just swapped out some of the modern practices for some of the more primal practices, like eating more meat, eating just fruits, just like a diet that our ancestors as hunter-gatherers would have eaten. And, I don't know if this diet is for everybody, but if you don't like the state that you're in right now, I think it's worth experimenting with. That's what happened with me. But yeah, if you guys are experimenting with your diet or health right now, I hope this helps. I'm still learning, still testing, and I'll just keep sharing kind of what works for me, and I'll break down in the next video exactly what I eat and how I eat animal-based now. But I'll put up some pictures in the video, kind of show you guys what kind of changed throughout my journey. But yeah, thanks for watching.